Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about when a super empath has had enough with the narcissist mind games. Super empaths are a little bit different than a typical empath. A super empath feels deeper, okay? They feel other people's pain as if it was their own pain. Super empaths are the type of people that will give you the shirt off their back. They feel for people. But, they're the kind of people that give you the benefit of the doubt, always try to look at the good in somebody, give the narcissist many, many chances. And this is what fools the narcissist, because the super empath gives so much. But what makes a super empath so different than a typical empath is that the super empath can see, because they could, feel so deeply, and they're so, they could feel the sensitivity. They could see through a narcissist. Eventually, a super empath is going to see right through the narcissist game. And this is what the narcissist doesn't expect. This is how the narcissist gets blindsided by the super empath. So what happens is the super empath gets involved in the relationship, gives it their all, okay? Gives the narcissist chance after chance after chance. And what does the narcissist do? The narcissist keeps, doing the same toxic things over and over and takes the super empath for granted. They feel like the super empath is never, ever going to go anywhere. Why are narcissists so overconfident like that? Well, number one, they have to be overconfident because deep down, they have no confidence at all. So they have to put on that front of confidence. Otherwise they'll have a narcissistic collapse. So narcissists want to believe that you're not going anywhere. A lot of narcissists that you break up with, they really think that you're not going anywhere. And the reasons for that is because they saw your love. They saw your dedication. They saw the loyalty that you had. They saw that you really wanted it to work, okay? Why? Because you let the narcissist break your boundaries, and they got away with it for a while. But then what happens is the super empath gets to a point where they say, no, not today, Satan. I've had enough. I've had enough of this nonsense. All of a sudden, the super empath is going to start to see the game for what it is. They're going to start to see the narcissist for who they are. They're going to say, you know what? This person is not who I thought they were in the beginning. And they're going to start to distance themselves from the narcissist. And this is where you have the big upheaval. You may have fighting. The narcissist may sense that the super empath is withdrawing a little bit, or, maybe ignoring the narcissist, and the narcissist is going to get angry, okay? They may fight with them, or they may just walk out, give them the silent treatment. The narcissist is going to try to break down that super empath because they remember that person from the beginning. But the narcissist is going to be, they're in for a rude awakening. So narcissists are, they feel that because they had the super empath the way they were in the beginning, where they were constantly, calling, looking for the narcissist, chasing after the narcissist's attention, letting things go, giving a narcissist a pass because, maybe the narcissist gave them a sob story about their background. So now that super empath, let things go because they feel like, they had a rough childhood or something like that. But as time goes by, and time is what destroys the narcissist, as time goes by, that super empath withdraws and says, not today, Satan. I don't want to be bothered with this nonsense. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing that. I see now that you're gaslighting me. I see now that you're a liar. I see now that you're creeping and have other supply on the side. So, they pull back, and the narcissist, you end up breaking up with the narcissist. You go no contact with the narcissist. And the narcissist goes out and has a good time and feels like, I'll try you back. I'm going to hoover you back, but I'm not going to do it right away. I'm going to give it some time and, let you cool down a little bit. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to try you, because this is what narcissists will do. They'll let you cool down and then come back and try you. The only difference is when that narcissist comes back, if they're dealing with somebody who's a super empath, that person is not going to let them back in. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the super empath is the type of person, like I said in the beginning, that will give you the shirt off their back. They will do anything for the narcissist. They'll do anything for the relationship to try to make it work. But when you cross the super empath, they will drop you like dirt, okay? They will drop you like dirt. And this is what narcissists don't realize. Because these people feel so deeply and they've put their all into something, they've put their heart into something. When that narcissist causes an injury to a super empath, there's no coming back from that. There is no coming back from that, because now you have crushed the super empath temporarily. But what they don't realize is that a super empath is a very, very strong individual, that they may feel that pain, but they're going to come back stronger than ever. And this is where the narcissist loses. This is where the narcissist gets blindsided. And I'm going to give you guys an example of this. I had a narcissist comment on my YouTube. And what he said was, you can post all you want to expose these narcissists, and you could try to help people to, see through the narcissist. You could try to do all these things, but I guarantee you, with my love bombing, I will still be able to manipulate these people. Even with all your education on your YouTube, telling everybody the red flags to look for and everything else, I will still be able to manipulate them because my love bombing is so good. And these victims will always fall for great love bombing. Okay, so here's what I have to say to that comment. All right, I had to put this on here because the reason that I'm putting this on here is to make people aware that these narcissists are overconfident. You see what I mean? They think that you aren't going anywhere. They think they could talk themselves out of anything. They think they could talk themselves out of the law, out of getting in trouble, out of accountability. They think they can love bomb you and can always reel you back in with that love bombing. They really think that they are that fucking good. But guess what? Not today, Satan, because you know what? You're dealing with the super empath, okay? You're dealing with the super empath that gives everything to the narcissist. But when the narcissist, errors and the narcissist creates that wound, that scar, that injury to the super empath, that super empath is going to crush you with their foot. That's what they're going to do. How do I know? Because I am a super empath. I am the type of person that will give my shirt off my back to help somebody or to make a relationship work. But when that person does me dirty, disrespects me, treats me like a fool, treats me like a jerk, then you are dead in my eyes. Then I will never, ever give you the time of day again. I will never, ever entertain the narcissist. Never again. Not today, Satan. Because you know what? You showed your hand, and now I see you're not who I thought you were. I gave you everything. I gave you all my heart and my soul, and you stepped on that. And guess what? Now you're never going to have that again. And you know who loses? The narcissist loses, because you were willing to give everything to that narcissist, and they took that for granted. They took that for granted. And now their retribution, or they will reap what they sow when they try to come back into your life, and no response. No response to Satan. No response to the person who played you like a fool, because you only step on a super empath's heart once. That's right. You only step on a super empath's heart once. Second time around, that heart is going to be shielded and you're not going to be able to come anywhere near it. You never give you the time of day again. And this is where that person who made that comment is wrong. That narcissist that left that comment on my YouTube and said, well, you could educate all you want to your subscribers, but guess what? My love bombing is so good, I'll still be able to fool these people. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're just flat out wrong. This is what I have to say to that person, because you may be able to fool some people because they just haven't been educated enough about it and haven't really done their homework in studying narcissism. But the other people who have been through it or have studied narcissism, thoroughly and understand the narcissist and understand the tricks of the narcissist are going to see right through you. And you could love bomb till, you're blue in the face. It's not going to make a difference. You know why love bombing works a lot of times, you guys? I'm going to keep it real with you. You know why love bombing works? Especially more on some people than others? Because some people are missing something within their lives. And here comes that narcissist that swoops in and fills that void within yourself. Maybe you're very lonely. Maybe you've been through a lot. Maybe you're vulnerable. Maybe you're a single parent going through a lot, trying to raise kids on your own, or maybe you're just lonely. And so, the narcissist takes advantage of people like that because they do know that they're vulnerable and they do figure, well, I can out-love bomb them and they'll give me whatever I want. But guess what? This is what you don't realize, Satan. A super empath gets to a point that even if they have that void within themselves, that loneliness or that something's lacking that they're missing in their lives, a super empath is not going to let you do it again. A super empath is a narcissist's worst nightmare because the super empath, once they're onto the game, that narcissist is dead in the water. They'll have no more chances with that super empath again, okay? Because the super empath feels so deeply and has put so much into the relationship and into the narcissist that when that narcissist has stepped on that person's heart, that person won't forget it. A super empath never forgets what the narcissist has done to them. A super empath will not let that narcissist ever do it again. They will never, ever take a chance of letting that narcissist hurt them again and into their lives. Okay? So narcissists, this is where they're a fool. A narcissist is a fool. They're smart in the short-term game in a streetwise kind of way, but they're stupid in the game of life because this is where narcissists lose. This is why a lot of narcissists grow old and are lonely and people don't want to be bothered with them or people distance themselves from them because they remember what that narcissist did to them and they don't ever want to be around them or be a part of their lives, okay? So at some point, the super empath is going to see right through that narcissist and say, nah, not today, Satan. I'm done. I'm not doing this. Now I see what you are. Now I see the game. Now I see that you aren't who I thought you were. That this was all a game to you, okay? That you're not the person I thought you were in the beginning. That was all an act. You are nothing but a con artist. That's what a narcissist is. They're a con artist. They're a deceiver. Their father is Satan, the father of all lies and deception, all right? But when you deal with a super empathic type of person that, isn't playing games, you're dealing with a dangerous person that's not going to play those games once they know what the game is, all right? They're going to step back from you. They're not going to deal with you. They're going to, leave you in a heartbeat and never let you back in. So this is what happens when a super empath has had enough. And narcissists think they could keep coming back, but you know what? If they're dealing with a super empath, that super empath is always going to remember that pain and that hurt. And like for me, for instance, you guys, the narcissist I dealt with that hurt me, I'll never forget what they did to me. Never. Okay. I mean, I let it go in order to heal myself, because you don't want to live with anger, because anger will destroy yourself. So you have to let go of the anger. But the way you handle it is you just say, you know what? I just will never deal with you again. I just will never, ever want to, be in your presence. Or if I am, I'm just not going to be close to you. All right. I'm going to be at a distance with you, because I remember how deeply you hurt me, and I will never forget that. And I also realize, let me just put this right in here. I also realize that you are going to do it again. And that's another reason why I will never, ever let you back into my life, or I will keep you at a distance. Okay. Because I felt that pain so deeply that will never happen again. And you will never, ever be allowed into my life again. All right. So this will be the narcissist's biggest, nightmare, in knowing that a door that they had open, and a person that was willing to give everything to them, they will never have that opportunity again. That opportunity is gone. That door is shut. And, they could hoover all they want. They're never going to get a response out of me. Okay? Never going to get a response out of me, because they are dead in my eyes. All right? Because I'm never going to forget what they've done and how disrespectful they were. So that's what it is. That's when a super empath has had enough and is at the point where enough is enough, and I no longer am going to let things go. It's done. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. It's not that I wish evil on anybody. It's just that you will not bring evil into my life. That's I'm protecting my peace by going no contact with you. As much as I may have had heart for the narcissist, I will not allow them to wreak havoc on my life ever again. So therefore, I need to distance myself from them and never let them into my world, okay? Because a super empath, again, remembers the deep, deep pain, and now there is no more forgiveness, because you can't forgive somebody who's not truly sorry for what they did. And narcissists are never sorry for what they did, because they don't think they're the problem. They think you're the problem. So why should I bring somebody like that back into my life? You don't. You don't bring somebody like that back into your life. You learn from it, and you say to yourself, okay, they got me the first time, but guess what? They'll never get me again, all right? They're done. They're done. They're cooked, all right? They're cooked. And that's what happens when a super empath says, not today, Satan, and has had enough with the narcissist mind games. And this is where the narcissist will be, that's where game over, narcissist, because you know what? Just because I had a good heart, just because I gave you many chance after chance after chance at one time, now door shut, okay? Now exit left, the door shut, there are no more chances. And then this is where the narcissist realizes this is their biggest nightmare, that super empath is done and is not coming back, okay? So I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio, you guys. If you're confused, you don't know if you're dealing with a narcissist, you don't know what kind of narcissist they are, if they're covert, overt, grandiose, malignant, or they could be a combination of both. They could be a covert and overt narcissist or covert malignant narcissist, and you need clarity and you need help on how to, you need advice on this, check out that link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. All my info, you can find it on my YouTube at the Game Exposed podcast on YouTube, over 6,000 videos. I really lay it down on there and try to give you guys all the information I can on narcissism to educate you so that you never fall prey to the fool that left the comment on my YouTube saying that they think they can fool you, okay? Not if you're educated. They'll never, ever, you could love bomb till you're blue in the face. You're not going to fool these people once they're really, educated and they learn the game, okay? And you guys, check out my TikTok at The Game Exposed. Instagram is The Game EXP123. And Facebook is The Game EXP777 for now. And have a great day.